Harley, if you will put a percentage on what you want to achieve in Mutya, Pilipinas, a crown or meaningful sisterhood, you put a percentage on the two. What do you want? How much of each do you want to achieve in this competition?
Just to experience this, because my sister did Mutya in 2018 and she said it was a really good experience and she met heaps of lovely girls and she still talks to them today, and it's a sisterhood that can't be broken. So definitely I would love to gain more sisterhood from Mutya than a crown.
I'd like to ask Mutya ng later.
Hello everyone, I'm Christina Van Haplen, representing Leyte.
Hello, Christina. Beauty pageants are sprouting like mushrooms in every corner of the world. Why are pageants still relevant in our society?
Beauty pageants for me is just about beauty, it's about purpose. And I'm standing in front of you today because I have a purpose, and that is to share my voice and be able to inspire others through my advocacy. And I think that is one of the values true beauty queen has, and basically beauty pageants too. Thank you.
My question for you is, have you experienced criticism for competing in pageantry? If so, how did you handle it?
Next.
However, I have been a model for 2 years now, but I have received some criticism, but I have turned this criticism into something that can empower me and that I can find that validation within myself instead of finding it with other people. And I turn that into power, and that's why I'm standing here today as a representation for girls who feel that they are less because they look different.
That you would sacrifice for Mutya Pilipinas crown?
The thing that I would sacrifice for Mutya Pilipinas crown is, I think, the time and effort that I put into it. In this journey, I know that there are a lot of activities that we're going to do. We have a purpose to fulfill. And at the same time, the time and effort that each and every one of Mutya Pilipinas candidates is one of the things that actually push us into our purpose. And as an advocate for responsible parenthood, I know for sure that Mutya Pilipinas organization is deeply rooted with its vision and values, which is to help those children, especially with the Tuloy Foundation and Blessed Bodies. And I think time and effort is one of the things that I would sacrifice in this competition.
Mutya from Traditional. Who among the beauty queens from Zambales do you look up to?
Which is from Casaria Zambales, because I really do love her courage and determination. Despite not winning her previous pageants, she did not give up, but instead she pushed through with her dreams. And that is why I am also standing here in front of you in my first ever national pageant, willing to share my story and in hopes of inspiring everyone to do the same. Thank you.
What is the most important value a title holder should have?
I believe a title holder should have an attitude of being a pro-Filipino. Because me personally, I am a Philippine Air Force reservist. And I know the fact that it is not aligned with where I am right now, but because I really want to serve not only our country, but also to engage myself or to involve myself with other community engagements. And so I believe that Mutya here is someone who has or who possesses the beauty, purpose, kindness, and a touch of feminism. And so as I stand here, I am answering the call of the organization Saan Ka Mutya. And I am here standing in front of you all the way from Pampanga, wishing and hoping to bring another crown in our province. Thank you.
In one sentence, how would you like to be remembered after this competition?
Elena from Aurora province. If I would say one sentence, I would say I would like to remember as a kind-hearted woman that came from Aurora. Because Aurora people is compassionate, kind, and faithful. And I want these values to shine on this stage, on this national stage called Mutya ng Pilipinas. Thank you. Good afternoon, by the way, everyone. I'm sorry with my voice. I am currently having a hard time speaking, but I will try my best to deliver my answer clearly so that you can understand me. If I were to give one sentence for you, the audience, for me to be remembered, it would be the countryside girl who joins national pageant. It's simple because, as you can see, I'm representing Tuguegarao City, but I also come from the peak of the Philippines, which is in Santa Ana, Cagayan. So I both enjoy the life in the city and the life in the countryside, and I want to show to my countryside women and female who dares to dream that even if you are in a place that is often unseen and not really into joining beauty pageants, I want you to know that you can also, because as you can see, I am already here as the representative of Mutya ng Tuguegarao. Thank you.
There's a lot of beauty pageant here in the Philippines. So what made you decide to join Mutya ng Pilipinas?
I joined Mutya ng Pilipinas because I want to use this platform to support something I truly believed in, accessible healthcare for everyone. I studied medical biology, and that showed me how science changed lives, and I want to be part of that change. And I believe that healthcare is a necessity, not a privilege. So everyone deserves a better medical attention, better healthcare. Thank you.
My question is like this. A national pageant is a mix of highs and lows. In other days, your biorhythm is high. In other days, your biorhythm is low. My question is, what to you is the most exciting part of a pageant and what is the most boring?
For me, I would have to say that the most exciting parts about pageantry is really the sisterhood. And I would like to say that it is also the greatest takeaway, because you may win, you may lose, but after the pageantry, the bond stays, the sisterhood continues, and you just keep on making friends and you keep on making connections. Even after a year or two, I'm still friends with some of the candidates, or mostly of the candidates from Pilipinas, where I joined last 2024, and I think it's the most overwhelming, and I think it's the most special thing about pageantry, that strong bond, that strong sisterhood that can last a lifetime. And if I would say that the most boring part, I think there are no boring parts when it comes to competition. I think the sleepless nights is also somewhat exciting, because you will never experience that again. I was talking with my roommate yesterday, and I was telling her, she asked me, what do you think keeps you going? I think what keeps me going is that every day, for the life of me, I know that I will learn something new, and knowledge will just keep on flowing. So even though we only have 2 hours of sleep, you know what? We are still here presenting to all of you the 57th anniversary batch of Mutya ng Pilipinas, and I think there is no boring part when it comes to pageantry. The sisterhood is there, the organization is always here for us. Mutya ng Pilipinas organization is very kind and is very caring to the girls, so I think there's no boring part when it comes to pageantry. Only exciting parts and the sisterhood that lasts a lifetime. Thank you.
I am Mutya ng Pangasinan. And to answer the question, I would say that the most exciting part of this pageant is the screening for me, because I got to know my sisters from different places all over the Philippines. And it is really inspiring to see and witness every hometown girl from different areas, not only in the Philippines, but also internationally. And I would say the most boring part would be the times that we are waiting at the backstage, but we transform it into something exciting by talking to each other and sharing our experiences and bonding with the sisterhood. That would be all.
I'm Carmina from New Zealand. The most exciting part of being in a pageant for me is quite honestly the self-improvement. I like to think that battleships weren't created or built to sit and dock all day. They were built to guide and forge new paths on rough seas. And in joining a pageant, in fact in all pageants that I've joined, they have to a degree been out of my comfort zone. And it's out of my comfort zone where I personally grow the most. On the other hand, the most boring part for me was probably the 8+ hour flight to get here. I was very excited and very much looking forward to starting the competition and the process, so the wait was a little bit agonizing. Thank you.
Hey, my name is Ryan M. Nico, and I'm representing California. I would say there are a lot of many things that are exciting about pageants. I would say the most exciting part are the assignments. I don't usually create a lot of content. I am a tattoo artist, so I have to put out my art and everything. However, it's really new and exciting when we get different goodies from everyone, our sponsors, and going through the CWC interiors. That was probably my favorite part. I don't say there was anything boring about pageantry, just because you're always on the go. There's always something new and exciting. Even if you think that you're expecting something, it's totally and completely different. So, thank you guys.
Hello everyone, I'm Roberta from Florida. So, as you can probably tell on stage, I ended up getting the flu right before pageant, and I lost my voice for a few days. And as someone who's very, very social, so this was really defeating to me because I've been wanting to be Mutya in Pilipinas for around a year now, and this is something I was really dedicated in. However, I would also say the sisterhood is what is really, really important to me, and they really helped me a lot. They were so encouraging. And I'm really thankful for all the girls and all the empowering women that I'm standing with. And I would say the most boring part, I would also agree, I don't think that there's a boring part. I grew really shy, so it really pushed me through pageantry to grow as a person and to become the person standing here today, because I never would have thought that I would move from the United States to the Philippines by myself and live out my dreams and even join pageantry and do public speaking. So I'm really, really thankful for this experience, and I'm really thankful for my sisters.
The exciting part of this journey is hearing the stories of this shining, beautiful Mutyas. I believe I can't wait to hear these beautiful stories, beautiful, inspiring stories that this Mutya holds, and I can't wait to share my story too. And I think the boring part of pageantry or even this competition is I can think of any actually as someone who is juggling both work and pageantry. If I am bored, you'll probably find me sleeping. Thank you so much.
My name is Marilys Flowers Silva, and I'm from Quezon Province. For me, the most exciting part about pageantry is that we're able to share our advocacy and purpose for this platform. It is important that we have our purpose to use the platform to bring important causes. And for me, to be honest, the boring part is that I believe that pageantry is not all about glitz and glamour, because we as a queens and as a candidate, we have our own down times. We are struggling and we are being stressed most of the time. But I believe that hinders us to shine as a hometown girl and as a candidate for Mutya ng Pilipinas. Thank you.
My name is Maria Marisa Alvarado from the city of Antipolo.
Well, the exciting part of this pageant was that I joined in this prestigious pageant because I believe that pageantry is a huge platform where I can show and showcase my advocacy. And aside from that, I am building a bond with the queens, and I was able to give and speak up for my advocacy, which is to focus on teaching children, and I want to extend a helping hand to boost our country's rate of literacy, and I want to use my voice to provide an access for high quality education, because I believe that's the true meaning of being a Mutya ng Pilipinas. Thank you.
I'm Joanna from Batangas province. I say the most exciting part of pageantry is the support that we're receiving, especially from our province. I have been away from pageantry for 6 years, and coming back on the national stage is really something very overwhelming. My Batangueños, thank you so much for your support. There are a lot of sponsors who have reached out to help, so thank you so much. And for the boring part, I don't think there's anything if we have some time. For the past few days, I try to mingle to other girls so that I get to meet and know some of them. Thank you, everyone.